The rules are simple.
Every week, we watch a new movie.
Then, we discuss it.
Welcome to
Weekly
Cinema. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Weekly Cinema. I am your host, Gabe Late, here with my co-host,
McKenna Coleman.
Today, we are back. It's been a bit messy these final weeks. I'm not gonna lie, it's just been chaos, that's for sure. But we're thankful for everyone who's been sticking around and everybody who's been supporting the channel and the podcast, all that. But we have a lot to say, we have a lot to discuss, a lot to get into. But for now, I just want to say thank you for everything. I mean, this has been a really fun podcast, and this is episode 9. So that means that we have a schedule now in mind. We know what's happening, and we're going to explain it real quick. So we have episode 9, and then we will have one more episode after this, which will explain the movie at the end. But we'll have one more episode after this. That will be episode 10, and then episode 10 will be the final episode of season 1 because this school is ending. Things are going to be changing, all that, whatever. We'll talk about season 2 in the future when it comes time. But for now, season 1, this setup, everything you see here is going to be completely gone once episode 10 ends. But we will have one more bonus episode released right after episode 10 for season 1, and then it'll be done for good. But yeah, you can expect that.
Which means more unhinged comments from me.
So be sure to subscribe to the channel, Weekly Cinema. We have our YouTube channel, weekly_cinema. Make sure to follow us on Spotify. And then Avon Productions will only be with us for season 1. Then we will be independent after that. But be sure to subscribe to Avon Productions as well, because, you know, it's been great being a part of the channel and them offering this, of course, gracious space for us to make this podcast on. But for now, we have 2 more episodes left. So let's make it a good one. Let's make it some exciting content.
Or let's make it a great 2 episodes.
And let's have fun. So for this episode, the second to last episode, we explained at the end of episode 8 that we would be watching
none other than Donnie Darko.
Donnie Darko.
I will say, going into this movie, I knew nothing. It was very confusing.
Yeah.
But we will get more into that.
Absolutely.
It's interesting.
Yep, it's a movie.
And
so
words to the wise, if you ever do watch this movie, please pay attention.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Definitely be sure to.
I'll give you my rating, even though I didn't watch it, just based on what you guys have said already. It's one of the movies of all time.
Definitely one of the movies of all time. So Donnie Darko, the quick synopsis. During the presidential election of 1988, a teenager named Donnie Darko sleepwalks out of his house one night and sees a giant demonic-looking rabbit named Frank, who tells him the world will end in 28 days. When Donnie returns home, he finds that a jet engine has crashed into his bedroom. Is Donnie living in a parallel universe? Is he suffering from mental illness? Or will the world really end? So this is a 2001 movie. It's a sci-fi thriller, almost 2 hours long, rated R, and it, of course, stars the one and only Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm not sure if this was one of his first roles, but it's definitely one of his first iconic roles as an actor, and he did a phenomenal job. Also, there's some other noticeable figures like Maggie Gyllenhaal, which was actually his sister in the movie and in real life. Drew Barrymore is in it, as well as Jenna Malone and Seth Rogen, and then Patrick Swayze. So it has some really notable figures in this movie, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's an interesting movie. It's definitely something that we will be getting into, but I just want to preface this before we start. It's been a while since we have watched the movie because of all these delays and stuff, because of all this. And I had a very interesting viewing experience of this movie. It was definitely last minute. It was definitely a weird scenario. So my memory of this movie is very vague. I don't know why, but I can't really remember much that happens in it. I do just remember the overall basis of this is how it goes, this is what happens. But bear with us. This is as strange of a movie. This is going to be
probably very lead to very rocky explanations of some scenes or
exactly.
Whatever, but
so, of course,
please stick with us.
If you haven't seen the movie, spoiler warning ahead to the best of our ability. And be sure to check it out for yourself if you can, because this is definitely a movie you want to see for yourself before seeing us try to scramble and explain it. But without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so let's think about what we're gonna rate the film. Whenever I do it, I always say you go first, so I'm gonna go ahead and go first to change things up because I don't have a lot to say, so I'm just gonna get over it. But
okay.
I don't know. I really don't know what to say about this movie. It was like a bad dream, pretty much, just like a nightmare. Like you're living a nightmare. I'm not saying the movie was bad. I'm saying like the events of the story, of course, and how it was structured and how the story is itself. It feels like you're dreaming. Like it feels like I don't know. It's strange. It definitely is. But I mean, looking it up, it says that even the main actors didn't even know what the movie was about when it was originally released, and it did not do as well in theaters either, which is pretty interesting. But it has had a revival of recent years, and it has a cult following now, and it has become a classic in its own right. So I'm just going to say I'm going to give this, because I know there's a lot of dedicated fans to this movie, I'm going to have to watch it again to really enjoy it, because that's definitely a movie you're going to have to watch over twice to really understand. But I'm giving this, just going to give it a halfway point. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I did enjoy, of course, how the story went. I liked how the ending and all that. I love that the weird time travel esque type of timelines, different timelines type of movie. But it was strange. It was really strange, and I love movies I can't understand. But this movie was on another level for some reason. And it was dark. It was gritty. It was definitely a different movie, and it was experimental, and I respect it for that. But all in all, I love Jake Gyllenhaal. That's all I gotta say, and I'll give it a solid 5 out of 10. But and I don't know. I actually don't know if I give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. I'm going to hold off on that because it's split down the middle. And again, I want to watch it again. I do, because seeing what people rate it, seeing the love people gave it, I want to give it another chance. That's for sure. But McKenna, what do you think?
Well, I'm gonna have to agree with you that this is a halfway point. It's definitely a weird movie. It's one that you definitely have to pay attention to. If you take out a minute, if you take out the time travel stuff, then at the end of the day, this is really a movie about mental illness, which yes, I can respect that. But did you have to put that weird aspect in there in the first place? So I'm gonna bring something new to this podcast. I'm gonna say thumb in the middle.
Thumb in the middle. Ooh, okay. All right. And what rating? Out
5.
Of 10? 5?
5 out of
That's fair.
10.
That's completely fair. Yeah, completely reasonable. Split
And
down the
I
middle.
don't like Jake Gyllenhaal as much.
You don't like Jake Gyllenhaal?
No, I do not.
Are you serious? Jake Gyllenhaal's incredible.
Because I respect Taylor Swift.
You respect Taylor Swift. I don't know anything about him and Taylor Swift. I don't know. There's something about that, but I love his movie. I mean, have you seen any of his other movies? Of course, you've seen the Spider-Man, but
no, not.
I mean,
really,
I plan to watch
but-
Jarhead soon, so
Jarhead. I heard about that.
I'll tell you how that goes.
I didn't really like him in the Spider-Man movie as much. And then watching
Really?
Donnie Darko, I'm like, oh well, eh.
I mean, I felt like in the Spider-Man movie, he does have such a threatening presence. If you want to give him another chance, my favorite movies of him is Prisoners and Nightcrawler. Those two movies are awesome. It's really actually incredible movies. So I would highly recommend watching those movies. Prisoners also has, what's his name? The guy who plays Hugh Jackman. Awesome actors. Great movie. So if you want to get into Jake Gyllenhaal, definitely watch those two movies because that's what got me hooked. That's for sure. But we gave it a 5 out of 10. I think that's fair. That's reasonable. I'm really mixed about this movie. I don't know what to say. It's just such a weird movie. But critics can say otherwise, which I am. I'm not shocked about. I've definitely heard a lot about this movie, but it got an 8 out of 10 on IMDb. It has an 87% of Rotten Tomatoes. It has a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd, and then 91% of people on Google like the movie. So
Oh, so we got Letterboxd instead of Metacritic.
yeah,
this
so
time.
Metacritic
Okay.
doesn't pop up. So I guess Metacritic's opinion is invalid finally. I think Google finally understands that.
This is what we've been trying to say all along.
What we've been waiting
Okay.
for.
Metacritic
We've
sucks.
we've called it ahead of time, man. Come on, Metacritic doesn't. It's not even worth it. I can only imagine. I'm gonna look it up just for the sake of this, because I'm curious what Metacritic rated Donnie Darko. I don't know why it's not popping up, but I think Google agrees now. Let's see. Donnie Darko. Yeah, of course, it's completely different than everybody else's. It's not that. I mean, it's not drastically off, but they put a 71% on Metacritic, which I mean, I really don't understand why Metacritic is always so different than everyone else.
Well, because they're weird.
It's so weird. I don't understand what happens there. But yeah, I mean, people love the movie. I mean, I'm actually like in shock. It's crazy how much people love it. If you look at a review on Letterboxd, you could see people say the top review from Letterboxd has 21,000 people agree with it. This person gave it a 5-star, and they said, "Me, this is a masterpiece." Also, me has to Google what is Donnie Darko about. So even people who don't even understand what the movie is about really enjoyed the movie and respected it, which I say is fair. Like people say, absolutely brilliant and perfectly tragic. Has me wondering, was he ever mentally ill? I mean, which is, yeah, that's the question, isn't it? I don't know. I really don't know. It's strange. It definitely is strange, but that's something we'll definitely try and get into.
So that's basically like, is Frank real, or is this just my imagination? Am I picturing this crazy bunny, or am I just?
Is it just is it me going insane? You know, or is it actually there? I don't know. It could mean so many things, because there's so many different aspects of like there's hints of sci-fi and there's hints of like a fantasy. So like there's like, okay, maybe this weird bunny could exist in like another world or whatever, or it's just all in his head. I mean, it literally could be one way or the other. It's, who knows?
Or both.
Or both. Or a mix of both. Yeah, who knows? Because of course we saw who Frank really was, and we could see maybe his mind's mixing together two different things that, you know, represent what he's going through. But
I mean, I will say, as weird as this movie was, I mean, it was a good movie.
It was.
But it was just really weird.
It is just strange. It's definitely strange. And of course, humans naturally do not like things that they can't understand. So I don't know. I really don't know. We'll look up an explanation of the movie, and we'll go through it together for sure. But yeah, that's our quick review. Okay, so let's try and let's explain. What do you like about the movie?
I kind of, backing off what I said earlier, I like the complexity of this movie. It may be hard to like understand, but I also kind of respect that. They make you work to figure out what it's about, and I think, like, as deep as this movie can go, it's a really neat thing how complex it is, and I entirely support that. But I gotta say, that's what I enjoyed about this movie, is how like involved it was.
Yeah, I agree. I'm honestly, I was going to say something like along the lines of that for sure. I was going to say I just love how ominous it is. I do appreciate that. And of course, you're seeing me now, because most movies that I watch the first time and I don't understand, I usually watch again. But this was a different scenario. This was it's been busy time, and to watch this movie as like on a short, like quick basis was definitely difficult. So you're seeing my thoughts and reactions in a bit of a altered state that I usually would when watching a movie like this, because I would watch it again, and I'm definitely going to. But I'm going to say that that's something I did like. I mean, even though it is something that, of course, we dislike and it's contradictory, it's still a cool aspect on the other hand, that it's just ominous, and you, again, yeah, perfectly, you have to work to figure it out. They don't walk you through the story. They make you experience it and figure and interpret it in your own way, which I always appreciate. Like the design of Frank is also, I gotta say, is really it's creepy, and I love it. It's really really cool. That mask is iconic, and the suit, everything. It's definitely it's awesome. I really like it.
Gives off the creepy bunny vibes.
It does. It kills it. That's
like,
for sure. I wonder if it's similar
it's
to
like if a creepy Easter bunny and Bonnie from Five Nights at Freddy's had a baby.
Yeah.
That's what Frank is.
Right, yeah. I wonder if there's, like, similarities to, like, if it has, like, an Alice in Wonderland influence about, like, the white rabbit. Because, of course, you have, like, the rabbit luring Alice in. I mean, to talking about time and stuff, too. I mean, I wonder if there's
I never thought about that.
Right? I wonder
Wow,
if there's a connection there.
Yeah.
Because I do
that's
see that.
something we got to look up for sure.
Right? Yeah. But that is interesting. I do find that really interesting. But no, I guess the overall thing about this movie, and I looking it up, how it flopped in theaters, but now people love it, and that happens with a lot of movies. That happens with like artists back in the day. I don't know if it was Vincent there was like an artist, it might have been Vincent Van Gogh, that was hated. Like his artwork was hated when he was alive, but as soon as they died and time went on, people started to love and appreciate the work, which happens like that. This is like this movie. When it came out in theaters, people really disliked it, but then we just saw the reviews of people absolutely adoring it.
I know.
It's just, I felt like this movie was ahead of its time. Because again, studios like A24 does this in movies all the time now, like it's nothing. I mean, movies have definitely become a lot more interpretive and a lot more, you have to figure it out yourself. And that's really cool that this movie did it back in 2001 before pretty much it was even a trend to do in the first place. But it's interesting. It definitely is. And that's what we appreciate.
Okay, so Google says here,
yeah,
Frank the Rabbit can be seen as the white rabbit from the children's book Alice Adventures in Wonderland.
Interesting. Okay. So yeah, I wonder when writing it, there was
no
inspiration.
Explanation, just
good.
Flat out there.
Yeah. I guess other people theorized about it, but they never confirmed it, which is interesting to think about. Yeah.
I never really thought of that, but that was
yeah. I just thought of it when like seeing the rabbit again. I was like, I don't know, it sounds similar.
But he definitely is creepy.
Definitely creepy.
Not as creepy as the white rabbit, but
yeah, right. Yeah. But
it's like a demonic version of him.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
Yeah. So what is, of course, I guess we try and think of something different than what we already bashed about the movie, but what do we dislike about the movie itself?
I guess how it's structured.
Yeah.
It's just very unclear. I don't really, hate the movie for that so much. I put it at the halfway point because of that. It's just... We'll have to wait till after the bell. The structure of the movie is where I was.
Right.
The structure of the movie is very hard to follow.
Yeah.
And that is also complexity. It's just, I feel like a non-linear structure is what I was about to say.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself here because we just got interrupted very rudely.
Yep. Gracious bell.
How we will not miss you.
Yeah.
But it's a very complex thing in itself. And I know I said I like the complexity. Aside from this structure, it is very unclear and very messy.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel I dislike about this movie.
That's fair. It definitely makes or breaks, the whole thing. And of course, it's strange to see it as both a dislike and like about the movie, but I mean, it really is. It's what makes the movie, and it's definitely what. Because I guess it was a cool idea, but I guess it just wasn't executed in a way that most people would understand. It was too abstract, which is, up for interpretation, up for debate.
It's an art style now, I guess. But.
Yeah. I gotta say the ending for me. I wanted to enjoy, I wanted to be like, oh, that's such a satisfying ending. I mean, everything was cleared up in a perfect bow tie. But, what the heck happened at the end? I mean, I don't even understand what happened at the end. If I look up an explanation...
well, what I get from it is that Donnie wasn't there at first when the jet crashed through his room, so it sent off this whole, slew of events.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he figures out how to time travel, he goes back in time and he stays in his room. And
So-
the jet action crashes through and it kills him.
Right. But like,
Which kind of like ends the whole.
so he sacrificed himself.
Kind
just
of,
so none
yeah.
of it could happen.
But what I don't get about that is the fact everyone he knew during that time period just like completely forgot him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I don't know. And like the whole thing of Frank and everything was never really fully cleared up. I mean, of course we saw who Frank was. He got a shot in the eye, all that stuff. But I mean, still, like, is it a figment of his imagination? Is it? I don't know. It's such a weird, strange, back and forth of like, is it just a mental problem or is it actually happening? I mean, you really don't know, and it's never fully laid out for you. If we let's do this. Let's look up Donnie Darko Explained. Let's just not Reddit. Anything but Reddit. Let's see what happens in this movie. For sure. Wow, this is a weird website. There is an entire website for Donnie Darko.
Wow.
DonnieDarko.org.uk is an actual website, and it looks like it's like straight from the 2000s. Like, what is this? What? What? You look at it. Search Donnie. So okay, type in no caps. Type in the search bar DonnieDarko.org.uk. You find it?
I think so.
Should be the top
Yeah.
result.
Yep.
Yep. So there's a whole page for the explanation.
Okay, detailed explanation. I see it now.
You see it? Okay, so it says
This is weird.
the
Oh my
film
god.
has been carefully made so that there are multiple explanations to what happens. With the release of the director's cut, some of the ambiguity has been taken away and the director's true version of the story becomes clear. So we're going to have to watch the director's cut, that's for sure. The explanation heavily revolves around the book Donnie gets from his teacher, The Philosophy of Time Travel, written by Roberta Sparrow, which is Grandma Death. The book is a fictional one, but some of the pages were in the film's website and included into the director's cut version of the movie. You can read those pages here. Are you serious? You can actually... Oh my god, you can. That's so weird. This is such a strange website. What?
Oh my... What?
So Tangent Universe. Time is usually a stable construct, but every now and then the fourth dimension gets corrupted. When this happens, it creates a TU, which is a tangent universe. It's highly unstable and will only last a few weeks before it collapses in upon itself. There's a danger that when the TU collapses, it could cause a black hole capable of destroying the PU as well. This is what happens in the movie. There is a corruption in time, and at midnight on October 2nd, a TU is created. The next 28 days are now set in this alternate reality. Shortly after the TU starts, Frank wakes Donnie up and lures him out of the house. The White Rabbit, by the way. A few minutes later, a huge jet engine falls through the rip in time and lands in Donnie's bedroom. It is important to remember that the TU is not created by the jet engine or Frank waking up Donnie. We are already within the tangent universe when both of those events occur. Unfortunately, we never find out what caused it to begin. It's just an unexplained phenomenon.
And just so you
Interesting.
guys understand, if you didn't understand a thing of what we just said, PU is primary universe, TU tangent universe, POTT philosophy of time travel.
Yep.
So there you go.
Yep. And don't worry, we are just as confused. So, oh my God, like this is, you would have to really dissect this entire page. What the heck?
Did you see that picture of Frank that's on the movie explanation thing?
Yeah. So okay, there's a part about the end of the movie. So at the end of the film, we see a vortex appear over Donnie's house. Yeah, what's up with that? It's the beginning of the TU collapse and is centered over where it began. Donnie is aware of what he must do now, so he drives up the mountain for a better vantage point. The plane with the same jet engine has been manipulated to fly overhead at this exact same time. Donnie rips the engine off using telekinesis, constructs a time portal from water, and guides the engine through it. We now see parts of the last 28 days rewinding as the TU starts to unravel. The TU has now collapsed safely and put the PU that was on pause starting back up from when it stopped. We are now back in reality on October 2nd. The last 28 days never happened, and Donnie wakes up in his bed laughing after dreaming some of the events within the TU. He then goes back to sleep, seemingly content with his life now, as the experience has seemingly brought him closer to God, and he is no longer afraid to die. The jet engine then falls on Donnie, sent through the time portal, and kills him. So, what the hell did I just read?
Good question.
I don't know. This is such a weird website. Also, the grammar is like really weird on this website too.
Just look it up for
Hold
yourselves.
on, there's comments. Let me see the comments section.
I'm like half convinced that this is just one giant bit that everybody's really committed to.
I know, right? Right. There's like a shared delusion. I don't understand. I really don't. I don't know. I'm gonna get off that website before I get a virus. But, dude, that's so interesting.
It's weird.
It's strange. It's really strange. I mean, that's a weird rabbit hole to fall down into.
Rabbit
that's
hole?
for sure. No pun intended. Wow.
Wow. Great joke. I don't know what in the world you just read at all. But
I didn't know that movie was that complex. What the heck? Who directed? I'm sorry, I didn't even say who directed the movie at all. Who is responsible for this? Who's to blame?
it's like
Donnie
something like
Darko
Richard
is
Kelly, I
created
think.
by Richard. That's spot on. Wow. Richard Kelly. Did he make any other movies?
Good question. I don't know.
Has he not? He hasn't made any. Are you serious? He definitely hasn't made a movie as popular as Donnie Darko ever again. It looks like he stopped making movies. His last movie was in 2009. Interesting. So he made Southland Tales, The Box. That's it. There's a sequel. He made a sequel to Donnie Darko.
Huh.
It's called S. Darko, a Donnie Darko tale. Holy cow. 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, that's usually how it goes with sequels. 47% like the movie. 3.6 out of 10 on IMDb. All right, we will not be reviewing that. Do not worry.
What did Metacritic say?
Oh, I can only imagine.
99.
S. Darko.
Metacritic.
Metacritic.
Boy, oh boy.
Metacritic doesn't even have a rating for it. It just doesn't exist.
Good.
Yeah, good.
Good.
That's even worse than putting 0. Oh my god. All right, anyway. Weird. Oh well, I mean, Richard Kelly made the movie. There you go. Now you know.
Yep.
Very interesting. Okay. All right. All right. So now, let's see. Try your best. What is your favorite scene or line from the movie?
It's when they're in the classroom.
Okay.
You know, like the police officers are in there, and they're making them write on the board, "They made me do it,"
Oh yeah.
which was part of where the flood was.
Yeah.
And they called Donnie up to the board. He writes it so fast and just walks away,
Yeah.
which I found really funny. He's just like,
Yeah.
I can't deal with this anymore. Just there you go.
You just wrote it, not even caring that they would recognize the handwriting or anything. Nope. He just wrote it.
He wrote it and walked away.
Walked away. I know that's
That-
true. That was funny. I like
That takes guts.
Yeah, right.
To just walk
That was
walk
bold.
away.
Super bold. That's true.
But
yeah.
that's really the only scene I can remember, aside from one other, that he was with his therapist, and it was like it was like the latter events of Frank. And he was holding the stuffed puppy or whatever, and he's like, "I see it now."
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good scene. I like that.
And he was like freaking out, which was
Right. That was funny.
interesting
Yeah.
because he was in this sort of trance. But that's like the only scenes I can remember from this entire movie, having watched it a week ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, same here. I can't recall word like bar for bar really any specifics, but I guess I did like that scene, like the whole sequence with the mirror. I think that's really.
Oh
cool.
yeah.
That's such.
Yeah.
It's just such a cool scene. That's for sure. When he sees Frank, and like touch the glass and all that. I think that's definitely really cool. And I already said it, but Frank as a whole, I mean, as a character, of course,
He's an enigma.
it's
Frank is
crazy.
an enigma.
Yeah, it is. He is, and it's of course, the main icon of the movie. It's just fascinating. and I
Also,
love
I'm
it.
trying to think in my mind, why would anyone in their right mind name a bunny Frank?
I know that's such a weird name, just Frank. Well, I guess of course because the kid was named Frank. But true for a bunny, like. I mean, I don't know. I have seen a dog named Frank.
Well, that's not a bad dog
But-
name, but I'm talking about bunnies in specific.
Right.
Why Frank?
I don't know. Why would you name your bunny Frank? Yeah, that's strange.
Okay, whatever.
Who knows? Who knows? Quiz me.
Well, the fun facts first.
Fun
Not-
fact me.
I'm not asking you questions just yet.
Just fun fact.
So you got time to prepare here.
Oh god.
Jake Gyllenhaal uses the strategy of rarely blinking to enhance his psychotic creepiness as he's driven by Frank.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't think I saw him blink once in the movie.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
well,
That's true. Jake Gyllenhaal nails that creepy freaking look. I mean, he's like, I don't know. It's something I definitely couldn't recreate. Looks like he has like insomnia. Not insomnia.
Well?
Yeah. Is that? What's the one where you can't sleep?
yeah, that's
Insomnia. Yeah. Have you seen
Um,
Fight Club?
No, I have not.
What's that guy's name? I can't believe I forgot his name. The main guy. Jeez. Oh, that sucks. Why can't I? Dude, it's too early. It's too early for this. What's his name?
So, continuing.
Edward Norton.
The first edit of the film ran 2 hours and 45 minutes. The director's cut is very close to the version that premiered at the Sundance Film Festival in January of 2001.
So, the Sundance version is different than what we saw?
There's a director's cut, like a theatrical version, and then the normal one, which
Huh.
I don't get why there's 3 versions of the movie, but
Yeah, that's weird. Interesting.
eh.
I mean, there is 2 versions of Paradox. But that's interesting.
Now, here's an interesting one. At the start of the movie, when Donnie rides his bicycle back into town, right after he passes the 2 ladies out, power walking, Frank drives by in the red Trans Am.
Really? Huh. Well, that's cool. I didn't notice that.
Neither did I.
Interesting.
But reading this,
Wow. Okay. Anything else?
I'm trying to look to see if there's anything else interesting. Because I'm on just IMDb and it's naming off a bunch of fun facts here.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we're going to go to the questions now.
Okay.
So, we are going to start with this one. Donnie suffers from which disorder? Split personality, bipolar disorder, or schizophrenia?
Oh, no. Of course I know.
Just guess.
It's funny you put that in there. Wait. Wait. Split personality. What's the second one?
Bipolar or schizophrenia?
Bipolar. Bipolar doesn't do what in the world he's going through justice. I think split personality is. I didn't actually think of that. That is interesting. That is an interesting. But I don't think that applies. I think it's schizophrenia.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So wait, where'd you find that?
It's just a question on a quiz thing. It doesn't
A quiz
say
thing? Okay.
like
So is that a fan theory or is that confirmed? Like I'm curious because of
I don't
course
know.
that's the
It
that's
just
the
says how
question.
stuff works. The ultimate Donnie Darko quiz.
Okay. I'll take how stuff works' word for it.
Director Richard Kelly said the rabbit costume idea was inspired by what? An old Jimmy Stewart movie, Watership Down, or Trippy Drugs?
I don't know what any of those are. I'm not cultured enough. B. Option B.
It's not B, it's just...
The second thing you stated. I don't know.
Yeah, the second thing. Watership Down, yes.
Okay. I knew that. Dang, I'm good at this. Holy cow. Wow. Impressive.
This movie was made in 2001. How much did it cost to create this dark fantasy? 1 million, 5 million, or 14 million?
So the budget.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't really seem high. Oh, actually. I was going to say it didn't seem high budget, but the jet engine crashed into a house, so that definitely wasn't cheap. There's definitely a lot of effects in this movie that were definitely expensive for the time it was made. I'll say, but I think 14 million is too much. I think it's 5.
Yep.
5 million?
And
okay.
one of these other questions is kind of a fun fact I forgot, but we'll ask the question anyway. And incorporate the fun fact in there. This was Richard Kelly's first film. How long did it take to make?
So it was his first film.
2 years, 1 year, or 28 days?
Huh. Okay, so it depends on how you say make. If you're saying like filming, editing, or are you saying the entire process from
How
start
long
to
did
end?
the filming take?
How long did the filming take? I must have missed that. Well, then that would be... it definitely wouldn't take years. Filming usually doesn't take that long once they set it up and everything. But it'd be funny if it... Was it really 28 days?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Oh, that's funny.
Approximately the time in the film,
That's insane.
which
Huh.
I found really funny.
That's
but
interesting. That's cool.
that is all I have.
Sweet. No, that's a fun fact. I like that. That's cool. That's really cool. It all connects.
Yep.
It all connects. All right, well, that was Donnie Darko. I really wish I could have done this movie more justice. I really do. Again, it was just such a weird scenario. Watching this movie I keep staring at that bunny. It's so creepy. What a great discussion we had, though. I love movies that really make us think.
This was an interesting one.
It was strange. It definitely was.
So thank you, Mallory.
So be sure to check out the movie if you haven't already. You definitely want to experience for yourself. It's on a lot of free services. This is an old movie, so you can definitely find a bunch of places like Tubi, Pluto, Peacock, Sling, Roku, CW, Plex, AMC, as well as YouTube, Amazon Prime, Google Play, Apple TV, and Fandango. But yeah, be sure to check it out. It's been great talking about Donnie Darko. In our second to last episode of Weekly Cinema Season 1.
That is so sad. But
So
we will
sad.
see you guys in Season 2. Hopefully.
We will. But before then, tune in next week for our final episode. Well, hopefully next week. We'll see how it should be next week. Should be next week. Things look pretty clear. Should be next week. But tune in next week for our final episode of Weekly Cinema, where we will be discussing the movie
of Blade Runner 2049.
Yep, that
Let's
is
go.
our final pick. Very excited about that movie. I mean, it's heard a lot about it. Can't believe I've never seen it, but we will both watch it and we will discuss it, and we're very excited. So tune in for that.
And then you guys also have one more bonus episode coming if things clear the runway for the end of Season 1.
Yeah,
so
it
be
will
on the
be
lookout
one
for that,
more
and that
the
is
bonus.
exclusive to Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Not on any other platform that we are on, just Spotify.
Yeah, the bonus episode's only on there, so be sure to follow us at Spotify. Also, be sure to check out the YouTube channel, Weekly Cinema, of course. Be sure to subscribe. But for now, that's all. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a great episode. It's been a fun time. And we will see you all one last time in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.